Crack me up though.
Recording in progress.
I'm not so sharp anymore.
All right, good morning, everybody. Today is
Good morning,
Daf Lamed Gimel.
We are so excited to go swimming in the Yam.
We finished it.
Daf Samach Lamed Gimel.
Yeah.
That was talking.
I read it.
You need a Gemara? You have a Gemara there?
Well, no, we met there.
You got one there? All right, you got it there. All right, so we got to the two dots yesterday. We had the Mishnah at the beginning of the Perek, which was discussing things that to be Lashon HaKodesh, things that could be B'chol Lashon. So we're still in the list of items that can be B'chol Lashon. So it says Tefillah, please, 7 lines from the top. So Tefillah, Lamed Gimel, 33. 33A1, I guess, right? So Tefillah. So what's the reason why tefillah can be b'chol lashon? So the Gemara says rachmi, right? Kol heichad dabai matzi, right? In other words, so since we're asking for rachmi, we're asking for mercy, for assistance. So therefore, it makes sense that a person can go ahead and ask whichever lashon that he understands. I tefillah b'chol lashon. V'amar Rav Yehuda. I didn't Rav Yehuda say the al yishal adam tzarcha b'lashon aramis. A person should not go ahead and request. Right, or submit his requests in Aramaic, in Aramis. Right, person goes ahead and asks his request in Lashon Arami, Lama Gimel Amud Aleph. Right, the Malchei Sharis, aren't going to really answer him on his behalf. Right, the Fishay Malchei Sharis Makid Lashon Arami because they don't understand Lashon Arami. So the Gemara answers like kasha. It's not a contradiction. When is biyachid, and then you need the assistance of the Malchei Sharis, so then you have to do Lashon HaKodesh, you can't do Lashon Arami. And how about Tzibur? But if you have the benefits of the Tzibur, right? So then it basically, jumps, over the Malchei Sharis, right? Then you have that schus of the Tefillah B'Tzibur. Then it doesn't even need to be Lashon HaKodesh.
So Rami, is that code for any non-Hebrew?
That's what I would assume. In other words, I don't think just specific. They don't understand that, but they understand all the other languages, right? It makes sense that they didn't understand other languages besides Lashon HaKodesh. They don't understand Lashon Arami. But Tani, the Nebraisa, Yochanan Gadol Shama. So Yochanan Gadol Shama, you heard, I believe, is about the second Mikdash. Right, what there was, right?
Yeah, the second day.
Right. So, because from the Chashmai, so Shama Baskol, a base Kodesh Kodashim, right? So he heard a Baskol from the Kodesh Kodashim. Shu, Aimer Nitzcho Talia, right? Of course, right? The Nitzcho Talia, the Oslu, Lachad Kraval Antuchya, right? So he heard that it said over there that there was a voice. Now the voice was not the Shechina. There was no Nevuah during the Bayis Sheni, and he heard that there was a voice that they were victorious over the general in Antuchya, right? So, and this is Lashon Arami. So there is voice, this Baskal came from Malachei Sharis, and they're speaking Lashon Arami. V'shuvin further, v'shuvin ma'isa, v'shuvin atzadik, sheshava Baskal v'yesek l'shkadashim, shoimer, batalis, right, batalis avidasa, da'amar sina la'asya al heichalo, v'nerag, gaskalgas, ubitlu gzeiraisa. So it says that it was a Baskal that says that the orders were bottled to go ahead for the enemies to go ahead and attack the Jews and to destroy the Heichal, and at that moment, and also Gaskalgus was killed, and all his decrees were void. But Kasva Isa Shan, they wrote down as to when they heard it. The Kivu, right? And it turns out that during that moment, when that happened, that's when he was killed. So you see that this Baskal, was Lashon Arami, and these Baskals were in Lashon Arami. So you see that they're talking Lashon Aramis. So Iba say a Baskal Shani Dilishmu Avida. Maybe you could say Baskal is different because the whole point of Baskal was to be heard. And therefore, it was heard. So therefore, there was like the Baskal was said of Lashon Rami, not that they understand Lashon Rami. Or you can say Gabriel Hayad Amar Mar about Gabriel Belimdu Shivim Lashon, right? That maybe it was the Malach Gabriel, and he knew all 70 languages.
Hey, wow. He went to a different Talmud Torah.
Yeah.
To the angels, or we done?
Yeah, so you dive into Hashem, but the malachim they help you. They they intercede on your behalf, right? It says, this is this guy, he's a good friend of mine. You should listen to his tefillas. The same thing we do when we go to Kfarim, right? We go to Kfarim, we don't dive into the mace, right? We dive into they should be, especially by the Gedolim, they should be of assistance.
Now, what you know, do you know?
Yeah. So what benching can be b'chalosh and the chsiv yechalta b'zavat v'rach Hashem elokecha. So it says over there, you go ahead, you eat, you're satiated, and you bless. And there is no orders as to how one blesses. So since there's a lack of order of how to bless, i.e., it doesn't say anywhere that has to be lashon hakodesh. So therefore, b'chol lashon shadash mevarich, any lashon that you're mevarich, that's what you can go ahead and be mevarich. And Shavuos Ha'edus, and when Shavuos Ha'edus, a person says, "Hey, I don't know testimony about your case." He says, "Yeah, you do. So swear to me that you don't know." So that's the case. So it says when he hears "Kol Allah b'chol lashon shu shamas," any lashon that he hears or he understands, you can make him swear in that way. And Shavuos B'Kadon, you have my article. I don't have it. You never lend it to me. Swear to me. So Asya tichta mi Shavuos Ha'edus. Right? Is that what it is? I don't know the gesh or not. Right? Yeah. So, all right. So we learn that from a Gzeir Shav from Shavuos Ha'edus. So that was the list of things b'chol lashon. Now, Nemrim b'lashon hakodesh, Mikra bikurim v'chalitza v'chulei. The Mishnah goes on. Ad, so it says v'chulei. Ad, so then it says Mikra Megillah. Mikra bikurim keitzad. How is Mikra bikurim? So it says Vanisa v'mart lifnei Hashem l'kecha. It says Vanita v'marta. Right there it says V'inu halavim v'amru v'amru el kol ish Yisrael. So it says the same lashon of Aniyah. Just like over there by Levim, which we didn't say yet where our source is, but we will soon. There's lashon hakodesh. Avkan, so to here by Bikurim was also lashon hakodesh. V'Levim gufayu minalon. So how do they know that? So Asya kol mi Moshe. Gzeir Shava, when we heard from Moshe Rabbeinu, Ksiv Hach, it says kol ram. It says if they were living kol ram Ksiv Hach, it says Moshe dabir v'lakim yanena b'kol. It says over there b'kol. And Malo l'lashon hakodesh, just like over there when Hashem spoke over, then Moshe, right? Moshe dabir, right? B'lashon hakodesh. So Avkam b'lashon hakodesh. So to over here by Levim was lashon hakodesh. So therefore, our Mishnah learns it out that the Levim know from a Gezer Shava of Kol, and therefore then the other cases are learned out from the Anisa. And Chalitza case, and what about Chalitza? So we said over there, so the Chalitza, we said there's a Gezer Shava from Chalitza, and then it says Rabbi Yehuda, no need, it says Kacha, like this. Rabbanan hai Kacha my avile. So Rabbanan, what do they do to the word Kacha? If they already learned Gezer Shava, they don't need Kacha. So what does it come teach you? So in Boilu Ladaver, Shehu Maisa Ma'akiv. The team should Kacha, you have to do like this. And now all these actions of the Chalitza, the removal of the shoe, the spitting, right, all that has to be done. If it's not done Kacha, if it's not done like this, then the Chalitza was ineffective. Rabbi Yehuda, so he says, no. Miko Kacha. Now it could have just said Ko, right? It says Kacha, the extra letter from two chaps. Right, so therefore we learn from there that you can learn on both. Kacha, you do like this, and it has to be lashon hakodesh, and also that you can't skip any ma'isa that's part of the chalitza, or else it's ineffective. And the Rabbanan wanted to learn out from the double word of Kacha. So Rabbanan kol Kacha lo mashma. They do not learn out that limud. Rabbi Yehuda, hi. The answer, the Amra, my they say Rabbi Yehuda, if he learns from Kacha, so what do you do from the lashon of, or the right where it says the answer, the Amra, you don't need for Gzeir Shava. So like Muri the Levim, the lashon hakodesh. The Levim learn out. How do you know about Levim lashon hakodesh? So according to Rabbi Yehuda, they learn it from Chalitza. It's opposite, right? Our Mishnah, right? The Rabban and the Mishnah learn the opposite, and he learns no. The Levim are learned from from Chalitza. I believe of Kol mi Moshe. Why didn't you learn Kol like the other Tanaim did from Moshe? So Aniyah Gomer Kol Gam. Right. So he says no. He only learns the Gzeir Shava Aniyah Gomer, not Kol. As Rashi says, an important Rashi. So Aniyah Gomer, second, the top line of Rashi says Gzeir Shava de Aniyah Loma Mirabo. Right. He learned from his Rebbe. They learn right, or Rabbi Yehuda did Aniyah from his Rebbe. And Gzer Shava de Kol Kol Lo Shama. He never heard that. He never had that. Adam Don Gzer Shava Elim Kein Kippah. Now a person cannot be done Gzer Shava on his own. In other words, any Gzer Shava is a Masorah from his Rebbe who got from his Rebbe. But you can't go ahead and the same words. I'll darshan it that way. So therefore, he only had the Masorah of Ani Aniyah, and he did not have any Gzer Shava of Kol Kol. So 4 lines on the top of Lam Gimel Beis Satani Nami Hachi. Similarly, learn Rabbi Yehuda Imer Kol Makom Shenamar Ko Kacha Aniyah Ve'Amira Eina Lashon HaKodesh. Anytime it says any of these lashons, it says right Ko or Kacha Aniyah Ve'Amira, it means Lashon HaKodesh. And where are the examples? So Ko Tivarchu. There is by the Kohanim when they go ahead and Berachas Kohanim. Kacha. This is by Chalitza. Aniyah ve'Amira the Levim. It says Aniyah ve'Amira together. It was by the Levim that was B'Lashon HaKodesh. And brachas v'kolas keitzat. So Kevin Shavra Yisrael Yadin. So then it goes into brachas v'kolas. How were they? Then it says that they got when they set up on the 2 mountains. So Tanur Rabbanim. So he says Haloi Hema Mever HaYarden. So it says over there. So it says. So Halo Hema Be'ever HaYarden. So it says means Me'ever LiYarden V'Yelach. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, right? It says it means it knows on the other side. In other words, Har Grizim and Har Eva was on the other side. They were on the 1 second. So they were on the east side, and it was on the west side, right? Towards right on the other side of the Yarden.
Right.
Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, right? That is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Achrei, actually, there's a little picture in the 33B218. If you just want to see a picture, right? So those of you that have the art school, all right. Anyways, it just shows that it was on the west side of the Yarden. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. It says Achrei derech Mavah Shemesh, right? So it says over there Mavah Shemesh. What does that mean? Makom Shechama Zarachas, right? In other words, it says that it's far from the place where the sun rises, right? So the sun is Zareach on the east, therefore it's far to the west, it's far from the Yarden. It says Be'eretz HaKnani HaYoshe Ba'Rava, right? It says Eretz Knani HaYoshe Ba'Rava sitting on the plains. So Eila HaGrizim HaRevel Sheyoshim Bahem Kusim. This is the place, if you want to know where they are, that's where the Kusim live in those times. And says Mul HaGilgal. Mul HaGilgal means Samachal Gilgal means close to Gilgal. Eitzel Elonei More Shechem, right? So it says over there Eitzel Elonei Shechem. So it says over here Eitzel Elonei More Shechem. V'Halal Amir. Later Rabbi Avram says Vayover Avram Be'eretz Ad Mikayim Shechem Ad Elon More. So my Elon More Ha'Amir LaHalon Shechem. Just like over there, it was the location by Shechem. So Avkan Shechem. So too over here, this is also by Shechem. So therefore, Hagrizin Ha'Evel by Shechem. And Tanya, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Yossi, but there says Zayafte Sifrei Kusim, right? The Seifrim describes the Kusim, the way they learned, they were basically, voided. Why? Amarti lahem Zayafte Tarsechem, V'lo Heliza B'yadchem Klum, and you guys, right, your stuff is like forged, and you got nothing on your hands. Why? You guys say Elodim Mareshchem, Afani, Afanu Maidim Shalodim Mareshchem. We also agree with that. No, we agree on the same thing. However, how do we know it? We know Gzer Sheva. We hold by Torah Sheval Peh. Atem, how do you guys know it? You have no source. They don't have Torah Sheval Peh. Therefore, how do you know it's the same area? You're right. Obviously, you're using, us who use Torah Sheval Peh. You're using our limudim. Rabbi Elazar Omer. It means Samach LiYarden. So before we had, it was far west, right, past the Yarden. So that was the first opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Comes in Rabbi Elazar, and he says, no. It says Halohema be'ever HaYarden. Samach means it's close to the Yarden. Dim ever Yarden ve'elach is far away. Haloksiv haya bevarchem es HaYarden achrei derech mavah shemesh makom shacham hashakas. Right. So it says over there. It says it says over there that once you go ahead and you cross over the Yarden, on that day you'll go ahead and place the stones and you'll set them up. And it was right when you cross over the Yarden, so that's close by. It doesn't mean you travel far to Har Grizim and Har Eval. It must be that it was closer to the Yarden. Nacharei derech mavah shemesh. What does it mean that it was far from the mavah shemesh? In other words, if you're saying it was very east, so that's close to mavah shemesh. If you're saying that's where the sun rises, so it means makom shachama shakas, right? It means the place where the sun sets. In other words, it's far from where the sun sets. It sets in the west. Therefore, it was closer to the east, closer to the Yarden. And Eretz HaKnani, and was described there as Kanani, that's Eretz Chibihi, Hayoshe Barova, which sits in the plains. You just said there are mountains. How can you say it's the plains? And it says, and you're saying the Har Gerizim is close to Gilgal. Didn't you say it was far from Gilgal? So because of that, the psukim, right, do not necessarily make sense, and therefore Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yaakov, right? Now it's the same way, right, that they were led in the by the first time, but when they left Mitzrayim, so too they were led in the same way by the Anani HaKavod in this way. And says derech, and he says derech. It says b'derech l'chu v'loy b'sados hakam. It says they walk on the roads and not through fields and vineyards. Hayoshev, and it says hayoshev means b'yishuv l'chu v'loy b'meroz b'arabah. Right, and it says over there that they'll go, through settlements, settled areas, and not necessarily through deserts and plains. And b'arabah l'chu v'loy b'haros v'gibos. So Tan Rabbana. Ketzad Avru Yisrael Yarden. So how do they go ahead and cross into the Yarden? So it says, so they I guess they were separated, I guess, into like 3 shvatim per camp. So there are 4 camps, and 2 camps will go ahead, like in a line. So basically 2 camps, and then the Aron, right? And this day, nevertheless, the Aron will go after the 2 of the camps. But on this day, when they cross the Yarden, the Aron went first. Hine Aron habris adain kol haaretz over lifnechem, right? They went past before them. And all the days of Levim carried the Aron, and this day Nasu Kohanim. The Kohanim carried Shnamar Vaya Kanayach Kavos Ragli HaKohanim. It describes the Kohanim who are the ones who were carrying the Aron. Why is that? It must be on this day that the Kohanim carried it, not the Levim. And Tanya Rabbi Yisrael B'Shleishim Mekaymes Nasu Kohanim Aron. The 3 times that the Kohanim carried the Aron. Uksha Avru Yarden. The first time was when they crossed over the Jordan. When they surrounded Yericho before they destroyed it, and then when they took it back, I believe from the during the days of Shlomo, was that the Plishtim when they later on, right? And as when they took it to its to the resting area, I guess to the base of Mikdash. The Kevon Shenitu Ragli Kohanim, which do a couple more lines, and once the feet of the Kohanim went in the water, Chazru Hamayim Lachrein, the basically water stopped and went up. Shenamar, and this is as the pasuk says, Ukavoy Naisi Haaron Ad Hayarden. This is when they approached the Yarden. The Omdu Hamayim Hayardim Ilamalo Kamu Aneidachas. So the air, basically the water rose up. The Kamagavin Shamayim, how high did it rise up? Shnei Masar Mil al Shnei Masar Mil. Keneged Machane Yisrael. It was 12 mil by 12 mil. Keneged the Machane Yisrael, which was the size of Machane Yisrael when they're traveling. Divi Rabbi Yehuda, that's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. And this conversation continues further tomorrow. So Mitzvah will go ahead and continues tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful day.